Extra Party Challenge! At this point, I think publishers have got to be trolling me, so I'll review their game. It's the only explanation I can think of why they would name it something so crazy. This has been on my radar for a while, and it's all about the name. I had no idea what the gameplay was. I just said, yep, I'm reviewing that one. I don't care what it is. When a name is that crazy, the gameplay has to be next level bonkers. And honestly, it was. It strove to be as weird as possible, and it succeeded on that. The gameplay was just slightly longer versions of the Wiiviewer series. I say slightly longer because the Wiiviewer games were only a few seconds long, and you barely had a chance to figure out what was going on. This gives you about 5 more seconds than those games. However, it's still a struggle sometimes to figure out what they want you to do. For the most part, it's easy enough to figure out, and the extra time they give you really does help. The biggest time it's actually an issue is the single player campaign. The story is that you're the weakest person on Earth, and an intergalactic bodybuilding trainer comes in to buff you up. You're going to visit different parts of his body in order to win this mode. Even the single player was bizarre. You can play this on easy, medium, or hard mode. The hardest thing about this mode is the lack of lives. If you make a mistake on one game from the list of games they have you play, it's game over for the part of the body that you're working on. Now you can restart at the beginning of that part, but that's 10 games you're going to have to play again, and it's just annoying to redo them constantly, just because you made one mistake. It should have had a live system. And sometimes it's not even your fault. When they start up a game, they give you a title and some brief rundown of the controls. And that's it. I found the motion controls were sometimes a bit hit and miss. The misses were the ones where you're supposed to swing back and forth with your Joy-Con, but the rest of the time it was fine. You can practice the games you may have made a mistake on in the single player game in the main menu's practice section. However, it's not always clear the game that you made a mistake on. It might have a weird name, but you can kind of see from the screenshot which one you're looking for, but it was kind of annoying to try and find. There are 100 games to play here, and you can play with up to 4 players. I wanted to test the online component, but no one was ever online to play this with me. I even tried setting up a room, and nobody came in. This game just came out a few weeks ago, and the multiplayer is dead. That's not a good sign. I really did like how it leaned into the weirdness. At the end of each game, there's an outro, and you'll never know where it's going. It just did a quick little joke. And I appreciate that it just didn't jump into another game like it could have. It embraced the oddness, and that's the best thing about it. Ultra Mega Extra Party Challenge was good if you want to play some bizarre quick micro games. If you have friends to play this with, I can see this being enjoyable for about an hour before you go through all the games. There really isn't much replayability once you play them all, as none of the micro games are fun to replay. They're just entertaining for the insanity they were in the moment. For what this was, if you can find this for under $10, it could be a fun game to play at a party. It won't hold people's attention for long, but it will definitely get them talking about the strange tone. I don't think it's worth the full price of $24.99, but if you can find this on a deep sale, it's an oddity you might enjoy for about an hour or so.